Your Majesty at your service. Welcome to Fair Queen Talks. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of my podcast, With Love. In a world where there's a day for everything, in February there's a day of romantic love, Valentine's Day. Some people reject this day, others have expanded the meaning of this day to encompass the concept of loving friends and family. Wherever you are on the spectrum of loving Valentine's Day, I want to remind you, with love, that being self aware is one of the kindest ways of loving yourself. If you are wanting to tap into your greatness, you need to unconditionally love yourself, meaning that your self awareness allows you to be exposed to your strengths and weaknesses. However, the difference is that you don't judge yourself for it. Rather, you seek to understand and improve with love. Those who are self aware with love are more forgiving towards themselves and can progress with their evolution to become the best versions of themselves. Instead of being hard on yourself, you self reflect on a regular basis, you regulate your emotions when you feel imbalanced, and lastly, you celebrate every inch of progress. In today's episode, I want to explore the concept of doing everything in life with love, accepting everything with love, and most importantly, living with love in your heart. The experiences we have in our personal lives have the ability to shape us for good or for bad. It always amuses me that two people in the same environment can turn out so differently, and this is because of our nature and ultimately our perspective. It is my hope that at the end of this episode, you remember to keep your heart and mind free from the cruelty you see. When you do everything with love, you don't become what you don't like in this world. For those who think it is easy to be positive when life is going all brilliant, I offer a different thought. It is easy to be negative when our brains are naturally wired to prioritize negative information, focusing on potential threats and risks as a survival mechanism. No one's life is brilliant all the time. Everyone is susceptible to difficulties. It is just on different scales. Being positive is a choice for some, and for others, a natural disposition. It's important to note that while pessimism can be a natural tendency, it is not always beneficial and can be actively countered by conscious effort to focus on positive aspects and cultivate optimism. So when I say doing everything with love, I am not saying that you take everything positively. Accepting things with love is about processing what is happening to you in a way that recognizes the positives and negatives without placing blame on yourself. For example, being rejected by a romantic interest on Valentine's Day or any other day is heart crushing. And for those going through this right now, I sympathize with you as I, like you, have experienced this in my life. The pain of being rejected by a romantic interest can be tangible and cruel, which makes it all unbearable. Having to let go of all the hopes and dreams you have had, and sometimes witnessing them doing this with another person, can be soul crushing. You get the sentiment. So, what are you meant to do in this situation with love? Do you clap for the other person and smile through the rejection? No. This is a very unhealthy thing to do. The suggestions and tips I will give to you today to accept rejection by romantic interest with love can be applied to anything and anyone. So if you have been rejected by a friend, a job, a family member, a social group, this is how you can deal with things in a way that considers your personal well being. So, here are 5 ways you can accept a romantic rejection. 1. You've just been rejected by the person you have had a romantic interest in. In this moment of rejection, remember your self worth and don't beg to be loved, especially begging to be loved by someone who has rejected you. You cannot force someone to love you or feel for you the way you do for them. If you are being rejected in person, let the other person know that you are hurt by this outcome. But up to the moment of rejection, you did have sincere feelings for this person. Now that you have been rejected, vocalize that you will need space away from this person. Whilst you are dealing with the emotions and feelings, you cannot engage in conversation or activities with this person. There has to be a physical and virtual separation. 2. Now you are in a period of mourning the loss of everything you hoped for with this person. It is important that you acknowledge what you actually feel and what makes you feel broken or in pain. Self reflect and write it all down, and talk to a trusted person and debrief this. You need to be able to compartmentalize your emotions so that you know what you are working through. You will recognize what the root cause of your pain is and work towards healing that. 3. Practice self care during this period and continue to deal with your responsibilities. A broken heart does not equate to a broken life. Your life is as full as you make it. Do things that release positive endorphins to you. Go for walks. Listen to uplifting music. Spend time with people that uplift you. Stay present in your life. Don't take sick days from work or school. Your life must and will go on. The rejection has already taken a sweet spot in your heart. Don't let it take any more. In fact, pour more goodness in yourself to replenish the feelings of loss. 4. Be kind to yourself and don't blame yourself for being rejected. There is a reason for everything, and it is not up to you to become the detective to figure out why you were rejected. No amount of closure conversations you are trying to start will result in a response that will be good enough for you or justify the pain you have felt. The person you thought was everything did not see you in the same light, and that is fine. It is hard to accept facts and truth at times, but the sooner you accept this, the sooner you'll be able to move on with your life and open yourself to feel love within you. And 5, remember that love will always find you and be reciprocated. Appreciate all the love you have in your life and don't hyperfocus on romantic love. Love is love, and it comes in different ways. When you hyperfocus on romantic love from one particular person, for some reason you cannot accept love that comes in different ways from other people. That hyper focusing on one person can block your ability to accept the love from other people who may be able to reciprocate the romantic love or platonic you have and want to experience. Upon reflection, when you look back at romantic interests that have rejected you, you can come up with thousands of reasons why it wouldn't have worked out or why it was for good. The reason for rejection does not matter when it comes to accepting rejection with love. Accepting it with love simply means that 1, you accept it, and 2, you have the strength to move on with your life. Your life is not measured by how many times you have been rejected, rather, by how many times you get up and progress. Rejection is like a setback. It can stop you for a minute, but you don't stay down. You reach for the stars and see where you land. This Valentine's, whether you find yourself open for love or in a relationship, I want to encourage you to practice self awareness and accept life with love. I want to encourage you to not inherit the pains of life in your heart. Like I said earlier, don't let anyone take away your precious heart and mind. Our perspective and feelings are ours. We can work on it, change it, evolve, but let no one take the warmth and kindness out. Build yourself a great village of like minded individuals so that when you experience things like rejection, you can be built up again. When you live with love in your heart, you are able to practice self love and love others. I often hear the phrase, hurt people. So, in turn, loved people love people, and people who love are loved. There is nothing more precious than to experience reciprocated love in our life, whether it be romantic or platonic. So do everything with love, even your self reflections. At the end of each episode, I address the queendom. In doing things with love, you show yourself compassion and no judgment. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of my podcast, Fair Queen Talks. See you next time.